Chapter 92. For me, she was everything. For him, she was just one of many. What if his memory is dim? What if he can't help my beloved Jenny? Once Keva sat there on a park bench in front of the beautiful white mansion called Nordhaga Castle, he felt hesitant. What if Peter didn't remember him? Or worse, what if he didn't remember Jenny? Or maybe he remembered her vaguely but was uninterested in how she was now. When he looked towards the entrance with the beautiful steps and the group of people participating in the photo shoot, he wondered if he would even recognize Peter. It was 5 years since he had last seen him. He stayed on the bench. He needed the rest after the walk from the station. His cane had supported him, of course. A day like this, he needed it as mental support as well. He was on a mission to find Jenny's life buoy. If Peter couldn't make her understand, no one could. When he had rested, he got up. As he got closer, he realized that his fears were justified. None of the models looked like Peter. He didn't recognize him anymore. Come on, guys, you're not supposed to be looking happy. You're supposed to be upper class, blasé. The photographer was giving instructions as he took pictures. Kevin heard a soft laugh. Can't the upper class have fun? There, it was Peter. He had stood with his side facing Kevin, but as he turned to the camera and smiled, Kevin did recognize him. His hair was combed back and he was wearing a light suit and striped tie. Peter, wipe off that grin, hold one hand on your hip and one leg on one stair higher. Oliver, go stand behind him, look this way, over his shoulder. The photographer continued to shout out instructions while taking picture after picture. Kevin wondered how long they would be busy. When he saw no signs of them getting ready, he went back to the bench. Half an hour later he felt restless, but he didn't want to disturb them in the middle of their photo shoot. Finally he heard someone shouting that it was time for lunch. He hurried to get up on his feet, accidentally kicking the cane so it fell down. After picking it up, he hastened towards the group. Peter? When Kevin met the polite look, the disappointment grew in him. Peter showed no sign of remembering him. Then his gaze shifted. Hi, Kevin, what's up? Kevin exhaled. He even remembered his name. Most Swedes didn't. Hi, do you have time to talk to me? Of course I do. We're just about to have lunch. Come along, the food is fairly good. They serve it in the tent over there. Peter took him along and explained to those who served the food that Kevin was a friend who was looking forward to tasting their excellent food. The staff smiled happily. He and Kevin sat at the outer edge of the long table set for everyone who worked that day. They had not even started eating when Kevin nervously went straight to the point. I want to talk to you about Jenny. Peter looked at him for a brief second before looking down at his food. Are you getting married? What makes you think that? Peter nodded towards the ring on Kevin's finger. Instead of looking at him, he ate the salad that came with the lunch. Oh, you saw that? No, I'm going to marry Agneta, Jenny's friend, if you remember her. Peter raised his eyebrows and looked closely at Kevin. But you were with Jenny, weren't you? Why? How did you know? Peter made a quick grimace and took a bite of the potatoes. I came back to Djurgården a few weeks, maybe a few months after I'd left for the last time. I saw you. Definitely looked like you were together, so I figured I should leave the two of you alone. He took a sip from his glass. Kevin almost forgot to eat. He was so busy processing this new information. Peter had returned. What would have happened if Jenny had known? Then maybe he and Jenny wouldn't have stayed together. Then the beating would never have taken place, and he stopped his thoughts. There was no use going there. I didn't know that. He ate a few bites as he pondered how he would ask for help. When Kevin didn't say anything for a while, Peter nodded towards the cane and asked if Kevin had been in an accident. Kevin took a deep breath. You could say that, but my injuries are nothing compared to Jenny's. Peter stopped with his knife and fork in the air. He looked at Kevin with narrow eyes. How do you mean? Kevin told him. He told him about the beating. He told how he had been kicked unconscious and how Jenny had been forced to watch. He said that Diego had come and saved him and that he had been in hospital for months. When he fell silent, he saw that Peter had put down his knife and fork, completely focused on listening. After a moment of silence, he said, Bloody hell. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm happy you're back on your feet, despite all of that. Kevin wagged his head in a vague gesture. I'm doing well. My balance is a bit off. I don't hear that well with my right ear, and I have some scars, but it's worse with Jenny. Much worse. What do you mean? She wasn't beaten, was she? No. But she was the one who wanted to go through Nordstan. I wanted us to walk around. Peter nodded slowly. She blames herself. Kevin nodded. Doesn't matter what anyone says to her. She thinks it's her fault. You wouldn't recognize her if you saw her now. All her joy of life, her self-confidence is gone. Now she's just angry, desperate and destructive. She's with that Diego now, and it's not good for her. What do you mean, not good for her? He's not hurting her, is he? No, absolutely not. He would never hurt her or any other girl, but he lives dangerously. For him and for her. He's involved in theft and in fights between motorcycle gangs. She can get hurt. Peter leaned back. Even though she's not the confident Jenny she once was, she's still Jenny, I assume. She must be, 23 now? An adult woman. If she chooses to be with Diego, that's up to her. Yeah, but it's not good for her. His lifestyle is not good for her. Peter smiled a little. A lot of people would say that about girls who are with me as well. A different lifestyle is not necessarily wrong, just different. Kevin sighed as he looked at his plate. He had hardly eaten. I was hoping you could talk to her, he said quietly. About what? About her lifestyle. Make her realize that it's not good for her to be with Diego. Peter shook his head. I don't tell people how to live. Okay, guys and girls, it's time to get back to work. The others were getting up. Suddenly Kevin was scared, afraid that the opportunity was slipping away. Peter also stood up. Wait! Kevin took a business card from his pocket and wrote something on it. We have a gig in Stockholm in 2 weeks. Please come. You don't need to talk about Diego. You don't need to... you say what you want, but just talk to her, please. Peter looked at the business card with a strange expression on his face. Maybe you don't know the place. Peter's smile was filled with melancholy. Nightcap, he said softly. I know the place. He held out his hand to shake Kevin's as a goodbye. Kevin took it and held onto it while he said, I'll put you on the guest list. Please come. You can just come and talk to her. By the way, the band is called Zebra now. Zebra? You'll understand when you see Jenny. Come on, Peter, you need to change clothes. Peter raised an arm to show that he had heard. Calm down, I'm on my way. He looked at Kevin again. Nightcat in 2 weeks. If I'm in Stockholm by then, I'll come to the gig. When he left, Kevin sank down on the chair and began to poke at his leftover food. At least he had tried.